Joining me now here on the Rich Eisen Show is the quarterback of the Big Ten champion Michigan Wolverines, getting set to take on TCU in the Fiesta Bowl in the college football playoff semifinal. JJ McCarthy, how you doing, JJ?
I'm doing amazing. Super grateful and appreciative for you having me on, Rich. It's an honor.
Well, I want to, part of the reason why I want to have you on is I wanted to also just tell you how much fun I am having. Every single Michigan Wolverine, former student, current student, anybody that I know, how much fun they're having. How much fun are you guys having? It looks like you're having a blast out there.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, obviously not losing a football game, you're having the most fun in the world.
Yes.
But just like the camaraderie around this building, the chemistry that's been built since that 2020 year, everything's just been positive and energetic and everything moving in the right direction. So it's just a blessing to be a part of the ride and another piece of the puzzle, honestly.
Well, let's talk about your journey here. I heard a story about how you got to the University of Michigan. You're from the state of Illinois. How'd you get to Michigan? How'd you make this choice?
I was always a Big Ten fan, obviously growing up in Chicago, the game was always on, and for the longest, I was on the other side, so I felt gravitated towards the rivalry, and as things went in recruiting and things shaking out, and I got to see both schools, I was like, you know what? After actually being here and being in both places, this is the place to be. It was just that kind of intrinsic feeling that I felt when I was here that it was almost meant to be for me to be here. And whatever it was that was telling me that, I'm extremely grateful for it because it's played out in the best way possible.
So when you said the other side, when you were watching the game, the rivalry, Michigan and Ohio State, you're rooting
I
for
was,
Ohio State?
I was a Braxton Miller fan when I was little,
Okay.
and yeah, so I kind of whether it was rooting for him, and he was just associated with the other side, but yeah,
The other
yeah,
side.
that's kind of I'll put that as the root of that kind of
Okay.
love
It's
for sure.
Hey, look, it matters how you finish, right? Isn't that
100%.
it's
Yes,
it doesn't matter how you start, it matters how you finish.
exactly.
And if I'm not mistaken, you were going and then you went to Michigan and that's what you fell in love with, or what happened? Like did Urban leave or something like that? You and Donovan were together. Did I read something about that,
Yeah,
JJ?
so I mean, Urban left, and Urban was kind of the guy that was recruiting me, and after he left, it was kind of just Coach Day's show, and Coach Day kind of wanted to go a different route at the quarterback position for the 2021 class. And, I respect him for his decision, but
Sure.
that was just something that kind of jump started a little fire in me. And it was the same way for Donovan. And just being able to kind of be experience one of those blessings in disguises because you really think you know it all and you think that you know what's best for you, but God knows what's best for you and he's going to put you in the right situation. So it was one of those situations for sure. But after that visit where he kind of told me that he was probably going to go a different route, I came here like a week and a half later and Coach Harbaugh showed nothing but love, and it was just like that instantaneous family feel where you felt comfortable right away. And that's hard to feel at a lot of places when you're on these college visits because a lot of it's ingenuine and there's a lot of just like shiny glitz and glamour, all this, which here it was nothing like that. And it was just all about if you love football, you should be here. And if you love the work, you should be here. So
What's
gravitate
your
there.
relationship with Jim Harbaugh like on a day-to-day basis? He's said publicly, JJ, that you remind him a little bit of him, and
Yeah.
I'm wondering what vibe you get.
I want to say it's definitely like a father-son relationship. I mean, he treats every single one of his players like his own. And it's a little bit special when it's the quarterback because obviously he played here in the same shoes and everything like that. But on a day-to-day basis, it's just all love. It's all love. But there'll be some times where I'll try a behind the back pass or sometimes where I'll try an underhand one and he'll grill me a little bit. And it's all love though at the end of the day. And that's something that's really hard to come by in this business.
JJ McCarthy, quarterback of the Michigan Wolverines, getting set to take on TCU. in the Fiesta Bowl in just a few days, right here on the Rich Eisen Show. So, you woke up that day in Columbus, Ohio, feeling what? A couple Saturdays ago.
It was crazy, because it was one of those feelings where I was dreaming of that moment my entire life, but when it actually was playing its course, it was one of those feelings where it's just like, wow, I'm still unsatisfied. I still feel this like empty feeling in my stomach that I was not expecting at all. And it was almost super exciting to kind of feel that, because there was so much more that could be accomplished when you think that accomplishing that is like a huge stepping stone in one's career. But it was just, yeah, that sense of unfulfilled feeling that, there's so much more to be done. And that was just really exciting to kind of feel that and know that we have a chance to do something really special outside
And
of winning
yeah,
that
but I
game.
mean, the conversation surrounding Blake Corum not being there, and obviously Donovan Edwards had a hand in a cast, and then your arm and your shoulder and your legs and your heart and mind is what really stood out. And I'm wondering what you said to yourself that day,
Um,
if anything.
yeah,
It's okay if you're just like, hey man, I'm 19, I'm just went out and just ripped it. I mean that's good
yeah,
too. I mean,
100%. It was kind of more that towards I want to say the second quarter, but I want to say leading up to it all week, like a lot of guys that played in that game talk about, it starts that next Sunday after the previous game where everything starts creeping in. And it was almost like a conversation with my younger self for the whole week. It was just, I felt that it was almost a movie like moment where it was something that I was looking forward to for so long, and it was finally here, and it felt weird. But when I was out there, it was just, like I said, it was just talking to my younger self, like, you prepared for this since you were in fifth grade. Like, this is everything that you wanted, and it's right here. It's given to you. Take advantage of that opportunity. And it was just repeating that mantra in my head, take advantage of the opportunity. And with, like you said, with Blake being out, with Dono being shorthanded, pun intended,
mhm.
yeah, the opportunity was just right there for the taking. So just being able to kind of stay present in that moment and not just get too caught up in my head and my mental dialogue. That was just kind of my main focuses throughout the game.
I notice you have a smiley face drawn on your hand.
Yes, sir.
Is it there now? Do you have it right now? You have it?
It's washed away a little bit. I
Okay.
showered, but
So
yeah.
what's that about?
So that started my sophomore year in high school, and it was the first game that I lost. And it was a brutal game, not gonna lie, just nothing was going our way. And I was pretty pissed off throughout the whole game. And I was signing autographs at the end for a lot of the kids. And this little girl, I was signing her newspaper, and she said, "Why'd you look so mad out there? Like, it didn't look like you were having any fun." And it was like one of those conversations didn't feel real, because it was really profound, like, conversation for this young girl. And she was just like, "You need to smile more. Like, you need to have fun." And she kept saying that, and she drew a smiley face on my hand after I gave her the Sharpie back. And from then on, like, I was like, you know what? It's really that simple. Like, you perform your best when you're having fun. When you're stressed and you're kind of resisting your own inner world, then things are just going to be out of whack and not aligned with your performance and your optimal play. And from then on, I just kept a smiley face on my hand. We went undefeated, won the state championship that year. And I was just like, you know what? This is a really, subtle, small gesture that will be very profound later in life. Just being able to spread positivity in any way I can.
And sometimes you have to look down at your hand and remind yourself during a game.
A
Is
little
that what it
bit,
is?
a little bit. Just, it brings me back to that moment. It brings me back to sophomore year where really not playing for anything but your pride for your school and obviously your pride for yourself, but just you're playing ball at the end of the day. Like, it's just you and your guys, the same 120-yard field and the same plays just drawn up in different ways, more complex, more detail, but it's all the same game at the end of the day. So it just kind of grounds me a little bit.
Michigan quarterback JJ McCarthy. A few more minutes left with him here on the Rich Eisen Show. What would winning the national championship mean to you?
It obviously will mean wonders to me, but for this university, Like that's what we want it for. We want it for this great university because we want to be the leaders and the best. You know what I mean? Like we want to be known as that, solidified as that. And that's just everything we're striving for since the Georgia game last year, is for that national championship. So it would just mean a lot for all the hard work that's been put in, that it's paid off, but ultimately it's for the pride of the school for sure.
And then your personal goals long term. What do you got for me, JJ
Um,
McCarthy?
I definitely, like, personally, selfishly, I want to be known as one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. And another goal would be to get my foundation to raise over $1 million and distribute $1 million in the next 4 or 5 years. It's already been $30,000, which has been amazing. And just being able to make an impact beyond football is my ultimate goal.
So let me take that one at a time. The last part first. The JJ McCarthy Foundation, and you're using some of your NIL funds and things like that
Yes,
for that
sir.
right now?
Yeah, so jjforthekids.org is the name of the foundation, the website, and it's so all my merchandise that has a smiley face on it, all of those proceeds go to the foundation. And last year I did like 10,000 out of NIL money just to hospitals for the away teams that we played, because we didn't have enough money in the foundation yet. So I just wanted to use my own money. And I mean, it's been tremendous, the amount of support and the donations that came in for the foundation. And I'm so excited. This year, I'm going to expand it just past childhood cancer, because, I mean, as I've been educating myself here at this great university, I've realized there's so many areas that need help and need assistance in this world. So definitely going to expand it to like mental health, the homeless, the environment, the animals. Just there's so many things that I could put my hands in. But yeah, I mean, that foundation's near and dear to my heart, and I'm just really happy with the success it's had so far.
jjforthekids.org. Is that what it is?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
great. And then in terms of being the best ever, when you stroll into the Michigan locker room, there's if I'm not mistaken, from when I was there last time, not one but two pictures of Tom Brady on the wall.
Yes.
Is that what you're envisioning when you're talking about that?
100%. Yes. I have so much respect for that man and everything he's done with what he's been given. But I'm chasing him. I'm chasing him. I texted him right when I got here, actually, on Instagram, and I told him I want to get the ring that you didn't get. And that kind of goes to this year and winning that national championship. But ultimately, it's the goal is to have more rings than that guy. And I'm gonna do whatever I can to follow his blueprint and hopefully surpass him.
Well, did he respond to you? Did he hit you back? JJ?
He did after the Ohio State game. He did. He said, "Great job." And
how great is that for you?
it was awesome. It was awesome. Yeah, I just can't wait to build that relationship more and more and just pick his brain nonstop and annoy the heck out of him.
Well, speaking of the Ohio State game, I've done my best. I've waited to the very end of the interview to finally get to what's behind your right shoulder, on the grease board behind you. Look at
Yes.
what do you got? That's a final score with a red sort of what it is. Is that a cross out right there? What do you got for me right there? That's
We got the
it.
date. And this is for every victory that we have. We have little plaques like this up in our room.
Right.
But these ones are special. These ones everyone gets. Coach Harbaugh makes sure that it's going to be up in our office one day, because everyone asks how many times you beat State, and that's just like Ohio State or Michigan State. So it's kind of, as you know, it's a big deal here. So we like to put it out there any way we can.
We told that kid who's rooting for Braxton Miller that you'd be saying that, right? Life's amazing. Life's amazing.
Life is amazing. You're going any way, shape, or form. God's got you at the end of the day. Yes, sir.
JJ McCarthy, what a pleasure to meet you. You keep balling out, man. You keep balling out.
Pleasure's mine. I mean, yeah, I look up to you, Rich. I mean, you're one of the Michigan faithful that's just putting on, and I really appreciate everything you do.
Right back at you, JJ McCarthy. Best of luck and go blue.
Yes, sir. Go blue.
JJ McCarthy right here on the Rich Eisen Show.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.